Hi, well, this is Peter here, and I'm absolutely amazed. I'm in the middle of nowhere, 5 miles from Denbigh, 5 miles from civilization, and myself and Ian have come out, and we're on this adventure. It's an adventure made in heaven. Fantastic to come out away from all the traffic and all the rubbish that's going on around us in the world. So I'm going to introduce you to Lance, who's going to tell us about today's adventure. First of all, Lance, as we came here today, we were really interested in some caves that you've thought maybe down here.
Yes, indeed, that's quite right, and we did find the caves. You saw the caves yourself. Those caves were on the other side of the riverbank, and we'll make a full investigation of those at a later time. But as you can see with this wondrous area, this was the realm of the river elves, and the river elves lived here for a very long time, forming all along the banks, and we can see that a lot of this area is still enchanted with what they've left with the legacy when they've gone. But before the river elves were here, we also had some trolls. Now the trolls were driven away by the river elves, but if we look behind us we can see remnants of the trolls, some rough workings that the trolls would use to, when they were moving stones around, and they would manufacture these difficult wheels, and these were used to get the bits and pieces from one place to another. But the elves weren't like that at all. If we take a look at this artefact, this is some elvenware, and the elvenware's got a nice blue glaze over it. The elves were craftsmen, and obviously, if we turn it over there, we can see that there's some runes on the back, and the runes show that it was a particular part of the elven faction called the Dane. That is a very ancient part of the elven tribes, and this would ward away any of the trolls that might come back. It's filled with the enchantment that keeps them at bay. So, just in this one little day, along this lovely little riverbank, we found all of this history, steeped in history, evidence of the trolls that were here, evidence of the elves that came after them. We know it was the tribe of Dane, and the next adventure will be the caves later on. Thank you.
Okay, well, before you go back, because we've got 10 minutes to film, so don't be, we won't stop just yet. We'll let our lunch go down. Just tell us about some of this limestone the features of the limestone. And go on,
yes, the limestone. Well, the limestone part of the geological part of Wales, obviously, formed many years ago as part of the seabed. It's a sedimentary rock, fossilised, lots and lots of little things that we might find in there if we dared to have a look. But water erosion brought it through. There's phreatic entrances with the caves. There was 2 of those that we saw earlier on, of course. Part of the limestone is impregnated with slate, and that's the igneous rock that's come up from below. That could be as old as 250,000 years, might even be a little bit older. We've seen some evidence of that along the riverbed, coming up through the ground, mostly limestone, a little bit of slate peeking around. Not found any veins of quartz, evidence that there has been some kind of industrial activity by man after the elves. 2 furnaces that we found, not entirely certain what they were, possibly looking for lead. Could have been gold, we're not sure yet.
Okay, well that's exciting. How common are these features, these gorges? We're in a gorge now. How common are they around this area?
Quite rare. There are in fact only 1 or 2. To find a gorge that has been eaten away and gouged by water in this fashion, it's most unusual in every sense. There are 1 or 2, but to find a large one that was inhabited with elves is, well, this is the only one that I've found. And there's history there before that as well. There was a goblin gorge on the other side of the area where we are. A lot smaller, more craggy, more rock, less greenery, typical of a goblin hideout. Less exciting, less interesting. But this is a nice area. This is full of green, and we've still got the latent enchantments that are left behind by the elves as well.
Okay, just looking where we are in a minute, we've got shingle over there. Just see there, and then here we've got beach. And this is on the side of the river. What's the geology behind this, Lance?
The geology here, obviously, is the elven landscaping. The elven gardeners worked hard to make the land look very nice. You can see there's vegetation all around, mostly wild garlic. The elves use green manna in their magic. And the wild garlic is something that's been left. It's a legacy left by the elves that we can get hold of, that we can feel, that we can enjoy, and it becomes part of our lives as well. But all of this was for the elven matrons to come to the riverbanks, wash the clothes, part of the community. It was part of who they were and what they were.
Well, elven matrons, that sounds quite nice, doesn't it? I fancy a bit of that. Now then, you were talking earlier, we were talking about gold and where gold would be found in this stretch. Not saying that there is gold here, but you pointed out where within a river system you would find gold. Can you just explain to the viewers where you would be sifting for gold?
Well, panning for gold is well known. Lots of us have tried to pan for gold. And typically gold, small parts, gold is heavy, so it's difficult for the water to carry it along the river. It will carry it along the river, but the gold will try to settle behind a rock where we might get a small eddy forming, small whirlpool. So look for a current, look for something where a rock might be sticking out, where there's still water behind the rock and the rest of the water's racing past it. That's a good place to start panning. Pull the floor of the river out there, give it a good shake around, have a look in there, see if you can find the gold.
Okay, that's exciting. Now you mentioned about caves, and I know we came down here for two purposes, well, three really, to have an adventure, to have a chat about the real world, also to have a walk, a nice walk, and also to find a number of caves. And as I say, we did find caves. What is exciting about caves?
Caves give us a much better understanding of the history of who we are and where we were. Caves themselves can be sometimes tens of thousands of years old. Typically 12,500 years ago we had the glacial movement, and 12,500 years before that another glacial period. And this is when the earth moved, this is when the mantle moved around, it's where water was able to take new directions, take different ways through. We've got an awful lot of triassically formed caves in this area, fantastic place to be, and the underworld is a fabulous place. Magic, mystery, enchantments, everything, the whole lot is there. So any opportunity to find another way to get in, it's absolutely brilliant.
Well, Lance, I'm sure many of my viewers have also looked at your caving videos, and they're absolutely superb and very professional and very exciting, and they make people want to, go out and do a bit of their own. But this is really, it's a secret place, isn't it, Lance? We don't want the hoi polloi of humanity tramping all over because we're apes and we are destructive. So just tell us a little bit about that.
You want me to tell you about a secret place?
No, not where we are, but just how important is it to preserve what we've got without humans trampling all over it.
It is very important to preserve the area. If we lose it, we can lose it forever. And if it's gone, it's not there anymore. The magic must be preserved. The enchantments must be preserved. Only 1 week ago, I was along a river. We found a mine, an old mine, and in there it was white. It was winter white, untouched. It was fantastic.
Well, thank you to Lance there, to Ian I should say. He's got a couple of names. Expert, as you can see, on many things to do with geology, caving, and even gold panning. Yes, he's done everything, and it's been a great pleasure to be with Lance today. I hope maybe later on we'll have another chat, maybe round up what we've discovered and explored today, so keep tuned.